Welcome to my new podcast. I'm Terry from Fine Fish Yarns. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Twitter, and Facebook, all as Fine Fish Yarns. Hello! So, this is my new podcast about yarn, really, yarn and knitting. Sorry, I keep swaying. Yeah, just showing what I'm doing, having a chat, wondering what you guys are doing. You know, the like. It's like a pseudo yarn club, isn't it? We'll call it the Pseudo Yarn Club. The Pseudo Yarn Club podcast. What? Named already. Fantastic. There you go. So I'm actually just going to jump on in with some knitting, I think. Although in the background, this is I'm going to call it headquarters. It's the box room, which has the computer. And as you can see, all of my stuff, my knitting stuff. Tiny little bit of yarn that has to be dyed. Littered all over my house. Not littered, stored all over my house. But anyway, yeah, on to the knitting. So I'm going to show, first of all, a couple of recently completed things, finished objects. May as well. And the first one is, it needs blocked and it needs its button sewn on. So is it finished? The knitting is finished anyway. It's a wee envelope. Isn't it so cute? There we go. So this is my yarn. I can try and show you. There we are. I used double knitting. I didn't. Sorry, doors are just creaking. Gareth is actually downstairs. And so I'm like, don't listen to me talking. You're not allowed to listen to me. And he's going, right, okay, love. Sing your hook. He's watching football. He doesn't really care. Back to knitting. Yeah, so this is some yarn that I dyed ages ago, and I had totally forgotten about it. Found it in a unit in the living room when I was looking for something else. I don't know what I was looking for, but I found this. Even better. And I knew I had to knit this little envelope, or wee envelope, so I used it for that. I do have buttons here beside me. They're just like, actually I didn't have the jumper with me when I was buying these because I didn't forget it, but Gareth was on a conference call in here for work, so I couldn't come in. So they're just little black buttons I thought would be fine. Anyway, there we go. Well, this is for, I do a market once a month called the Fine and Dandy Market. And the traders there are so nice. It's more like a social thing for me. I just go to chat to them all once a month. I'm like, oh, what are you doing now? And one of the ladies had a baby, Dot from Neary Nog's chocolate, which is delicious. I actually sent out truffles in I think it was my Christmas yarn club. I sent out some truffles from her. So she had a wee baby called Emmett, and I knit this for him. And because I know that I'm kind of crap with deadlines and knitting to a certain time or whatever, I did knit the 6 to 9 months, I think, if that's the size. The third size up anyway. So it should fit him, considering he was born at the end of February, start of March maybe. It should fit him. So I just need the buttons on that, and that's that done. Oh, and blocked, because I don't know why. I don't know, has this happened to anyone else? Is your edge curling? I don't know why my edge is curling. There, I'm hoping blocking will sort it out, and it will. I know it will, but to what degree I don't know. Because I knit Ina a baby sock yarn sweater, I think it was called, and the edge curled in it too. Really annoyed me. And I think it still curls a bit, which kind of annoys me, but what can you do? Maybe you guys know and can tell me. Next, I'll just put this away. Put the buttons there so I don't lose them. Next is, I'll show this. Although I did finish this quite a while ago, so it's kind of cheating. It's just that everything that I'm knitting at the minute is mostly with my own yarn. Actually, that was with my own yarn as well, but I want to show this because it isn't. and to show that yes, I actually do knit with other things. It's just that at this particular point in time, most of the stuff on the needles is my own yarn. Not always. So this is the baby vertebrae I knit for Ina, which actually needs washed because she's been wearing it a lot. So I knit the top colour, the yoke I suppose, is Madeline Tosh, the double knitting singles, the name of which I can't remember, and the label might be here. No, it was there for months, but it's not there anymore. And that's the Modern Fur Isle colourway, so it's got these lovely little, like, orange and blue and red and sort of yellow speckles on a sort of an ecru oatmeal-y background. It's lovely. And then the bottom of the body is Debbie Bliss. I cannot say that name apparently. Debbie Bliss. Donegal tweed, with the tiniest bit of cashmere in it. And I held it double because the top was double knitting and this was a fingering weight. So I held it double and it worked out fine. It's quite coarse to knit with. I actually didn't enjoy knitting with it, but it softened up with washing. So it's I don't have the labels for these. I think I threw them out, which is really bad, but they may even be numbers, I don't know. So the bottom is turquoise and I did the sleeves in pink, just to lift it up a little bit. So the pink has nice little like flecks through it as well, blue and stuff, so it does match in. I thought it matched in anyway. But the only thing, I knit this big because everything I knit I end up knitting small and it just fits her, because of my tight knitting, which I'm actually going to come on to shortly. So this is big. I knit it big. I actually did a gauge swatch. Or did I? Actually, no, I didn't. That is a lie. But I knit this just after I did my portage cardigan, and I knew then for double knitting I had to go up a size. So I went up a needle size and also a size. So I think this is the 18 to... Does she do an 18 to 24 months? I don't know. This is a size bigger than Ina needed anyway. So size bigger than Ina needed. And so it falls off her quite easily, although I find that this does anyway. I have one myself. But to combat that, I just crocheted on, it's a crochet chain, that's all. And I did one on that side, and I did one on this side, and when I put it on her, I tie it in a wee bow, and it stays on, and she runs around, and it ties out here, so it doesn't fall off her shoulders, and she's happy as Larry, and I'm happy as Larry. Everyone's happy as Larry. So that's that little cardigan. And then the last thing that I'm going to show that's finished, which is a symptom of my tight knitting, is this hat. Oh, there you go. So this is knit in my, what is it? Angel of Small Death colorway. So it's got like maroons and sort of raspberry and black and it's over-dyed and the lilac-y purple, and so it's a nice mix of sort of dark colours. I think I like it. But I actually cast this on for an adult, and I used a bigger needle than I would normally have used as well, but it fits Ina, and Ina has just turned 18 months, so this is not for an adult. I'll have to cast on another one, but I did a folded brim, and a little cable going up the side. I was just randomly putting the bits of cable in. I wasn't actually paying that much attention, so they're all sort of uneven, but I mean, it didn't bother me. It's part of the charm. I wasn't actually doing it to be even, so it doesn't matter. There, that's 3 things that are finished, so I can move on to all the stuff that I am currently knitting and probably going to frog. And they're all socks. If you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I don't think I posted it on Facebook. I posted the picture of my 5 sock whips, and it's like, how many sock whips is too many sock whips? For me, 5. 5 sock whips is 4 too many. And actually, none of them fit, so it's 5 too many. The first one is this one. again, any Instagram followers are really will have seen this because I love Instagram. But this is just a plain vanilla sock with something's blowing that out of it. Well, actually, this is contrasting berry yarn cuff and a little slip stitch heel with the garter ridge thing at the side. This is all dye on my hands, by the way. Please pay little attention to it. Yeah, and just the heel flap and gusset. This is the original skein that I dyed of. The yarn that I have of it is called Felix, and it's not quite the same. So I'm calling this one I called Felix Originalis. I was testing dyes and I dyed this one and thought, hey, that's nice. So then I dyed more, but slightly differently. There you go. So this one I really liked, and I was like knitting away at it, and like, I love this, I love this. And then I was putting the contrast heel in, and at first I tried the modified I have partridge. I can't count when I'm knitting. I can't keep track of things like that. You know, do this row that way and do that row this way over small numbers. Large numbers, fine, easy. Apparently I can keep track of that, no worries. Simple pattern repeats just completely like throw me for six. I can't do them. Moving on anyway. So I got to the gusset. Knit the gusset. Knit. Sorry, the door had gone again. Knit the sock, and it's too blinking small. I tried it on and it is very tight across the bridge of my foot. Now I can get it on and it goes on okay. I just don't like the fit of it. It's too tight. I am a tight knitter. I know I am a tight knitter. So I cast on 68 stitches to knit this. I don't have big feet. And there I'm knitting them doing magic loop on these addies, which I don't like because they're quite blunt. They're 2.25 millimeter. So 68 stitches, 2.25 millimeter, doesn't work for me. You can see like there isn't actually a lot of give in the fabric of them, so I have to go up needle sizes. So I had asked my mother-in-law to try these on. They were here on Sunday, and we had a barbecue because the weather was nice enough for a barbecue anyway. And she tried it on, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll knit them for you, that's fine. But thinking about it, I'm not knitting them for her because I wasn't happy with the fit there either. I just didn't want to frog them because, I mean, when you put in that much work, when you get past the gusset, frogging them is not what you want to do, but I wouldn't be happy with them. So they're getting frogged. And I'm okay because it's one less stress off my mind, actually. Too many sock whips, and when I had too many, I didn't know what to knit on. There were too many to pick from, so I ended up doing nothing. Last night I just sat and knit a pack of crisps. It was a big pack of crisps. And I ate them all. And I was like, I don't know what to knit. Anyway, sock 1. Sock excuse me, sock 2 is this yarn. So this is Dye Candy. I think the yarn colorway was Yarn Friends, it was called, and it is, I know there's yak and merino, but I can't remember if the other yarn is silk or nylon. Either way, perfect for socks, just slightly more luxurious if it's silk. Yeah, so it's like a high twist in that. I like it, it's squishy. And if I can get this unwrapped, been sitting for a while. So I'm doing this on magic loop as well, and this is on size 3 needles, 3 millimeter, so it's US. I don't know what it is US, and it's kind of worn off, so I can't even see them. But anyway, I'm knitting skedaddle socks. See, so you can just see the thing going down the back of it there, cable. I cast on 60 stitches for this one because it's 3 millimeter needles, and there's a lot more stretch in it. Like there's a lot more give in the fabric, but actually I think I should have cast on 64 because when it's going to go over the bridge of my foot, the stitches are going to stretch again, and I don't like them stretching that much, so it's going to get frogged. Another one bites the dust. Sock number 3. Huge. This is absolutely huge. Look at it. It's actually getting really blown out by the sun. I don't know how I can. There you go. Well, actually, it's bright anyway. It's like fluorescent green, and chartreuse and light teal. This is one of the first self-striping. Well, actually, it's the only self-striping yarn I've dyed, and I dyed it years. Like, I don't know how 2 years, 3 years. I've been dyeing 2 years, just over 2 years, I think. So I dyed this, and then I set it aside, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll knit Gareth socks with it, because my other ones were being a pain in the arse and not really working. I lift this up and I cast it on Sunday, and that's just another random ball of yarn that I had dyed and lying around for the cuff. I was going to do the heel in that as well. And I'm knitting this on 2.75, I think. I'll just double. You're not there. Pretty sure it's 2.75 anyway. Oh, these are Addies as well. So 2.75, and it's too big. I cast on 72 stitches. The yarn is thinner, I think. Anyway, it's just going to be too big. I'm going to have to frog it. So I will frog it, cast on 68. Seems like it's not going to cut enough off for me. 64 seems like it might be a bit too small. Yeah, it's got kind of chunky leg. Well, it's stretchy. I think I might do 68. And if that doesn't fit him, tough. That's what he's getting, because I'm not ripping out and casting them on again. I'm already fed up with having to rip out 3 socks, which would be 4, but I'm actually just going to soldier on with these next ones, because I can't face ripping them out. And I put work in them, and I'm past the heel in them too, even though it's only the first sock. But anyway, stuck. So it's this one. This is my David Bowie Yarn Club yarns. Well, actually, the Yarn Club is Famous 5, and May's was David Bowie inspired. So there are 5 colorways. The top one is Space Oddity. So it's Let's Dance, Aladdin Zayn, this word I can't quite remember. It's a mesochoria, I think. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. I just can't remember the exact word. And this one is Jareth from the Goblin King from Labyrinth. So I cast on 64 for this one, and I thought, because I'm using those little mini circulars, I haven't actually looked at those the 9-inch circulars, and these ones are 2.25 millimeters as well, but my gauge is considerably looser when I'm on these little needles, so I thought 64 would be plenty. They're not as bad as the other ones, but they still do pull a bit more over the bridge of my foot than I'd like. So probably should have cast on 68. I mean, there is more give, but when it's over the bridge of my foot, it kind of stretches out like that. Yeah, and I don't really like that anymore. I prefer a slightly looser fitting. So, but tough. I've knit so much on this one that I'm not ripping it out. And I started off, I was going to do, I think I was doing 7 or 8 rows per colour, per stripe. But as I said before, I just can't count when I'm knitting. So some of them have 8, some of them have 9. I think one has 6, like this little one, this little runt of the litter here. I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me that much or at all. I'd like to be able to keep track of simple blinking numbers when I'm knitting, but apparently I can't, so fine. And I did a fish lips kiss heel. I didn't split a stripe to put it in. I don't know why. I just got to the end of a stripe and went, yeah, no, I'm going to do the heel now. So this is in the first sock. I will finish this one, and then I will at some point cast on another one and do that one, and then I will have 2, and that will be that. This one I'm keeping. It might loosen up when I've washed and blocked it. It probably won't. My knitting doesn't tend to loosen up much in socks. It stays fairly the same. Excuse me, I am actually quite thirsty. who watched all these podcasts and they all have tea, and I'm like, yeah, it's like, what time is it? 8:15. Booze o'clock. I'm not a lush. It's just nice and sunny, and it's like you got the party theme. Anyway, ignore me. So these last socks, Kate Nickel, I will never actually ever forgive you for making me knit this pattern. Kate Nickel is Kate Nickel 1 on Instagram, and we went down to Dublin in March. We called it the March to Dublin. It was like a mini yarn crawl. So there was Kate and I, Hannah from Hannah Rose Yarns on Instagram, and there were meant to be two other girls, Kira, Kira and Helen. Helen is Helen Whiteley. Kira is Kira Carberry. I think they're their names on Instagram. I'm really sorry, girls, but I can't actually remember off the top of my head. But anyway, so we were going down to Dublin, and we got the train down because we were in Belfast, and we were going down for a yarn crawl. And Kate and I brought stuff to cast on, so I had this yarn, and it's, where did I put the label? I've misplaced the label simply because I have misplaced the project bag that it was. Is this it? Honestly, guys, I've lost it. I mean, I had it 2 seconds ago, but I have lost it somewhere. Anyway, that's really going to annoy me, but it's fine. So we cast on this yarn, and I was doing the toe, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I'll just do a plain sock or, pattern. And I think I'd seen a couple of people on Instagram have been knitting the blueberry waffle, so I knit it. Well, I said to Kate, and she was like, yeah, I like it. I've knit a couple, and it's really easy. And see this deadpan face, Kate? It's a 2-row repeat, and I cannot for the life of me keep track. It's like, I call these my bloody waffle socks because I really do not like this pattern. And it's not the pattern's fault. It's just that with a plain vanilla sock, it's like knit, 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 knit. It's totally mindless, quick. You don't have to pay a single bit of attention. Do whatever you want. Watch TV, watch podcasts, and you're knitting away, and it doesn't blink and matter. I can't keep track of 2 rows, so I have one finished. So here's one, and if you look closely, you'll see that some of them are like 3 rows long, some of them are 1, and actually parts of it I have just totally knit the wrong pattern. I think I'm like, is it here? Like I'm totally off by stitches. I just can't count. So I hate these socks. I like them when they're on. I like the look of it. Hate knitting it. It's not mindless. I have to pay too much attention for really what it is. I prefer the amount of attention I have to pay. I'd prefer to be knitting like some crazy cabled coop knit sock or something, rather than like what is essentially just a broken ribbing. So I got to this far. I'm not far off the heel in this one. It's a little stitch marker. Here you go, it's a little skull. So I will keep knitting these because I have one already done, and I really like the yarn. It's Vollerodel from Germany, and I bought 10 balls of different colours, 2 balls of each colour because they're only 50-gram balls. And my original plan had been to knit each sock until the yarn ran out, but dear God, no, not happening. Bored to death with this pattern. Do not like it. Cast that thing off as soon as it was long enough. I was like, oh, I have a whole other sock to do. Can't be having with knitting the rest of this ball, which is about 17 grams left. So my God, they were going to be like thigh highs. Not for me. So yeah, this one I will keep going with, but it is relegated to car knitting because it's not fun. And knitting should be fun. It's your hobby. It's my hobby. Well, it's a lifestyle. It's a life choice. But life choices are also meant to be fun, not like brain dribbling out my ears. So there's that one. I will put that away now. And the only other thing that is on my needles at this point, get to it in a minute, is oh God, I can't pronounce this. can't pronounce it, feel free to tell me. By Hoki Locatelli, I think, isn't it? Who, yeah, she did this pattern. So I'm using Malabrito lace and 5mm needles. So it'll be really airy and huge, and probably take me a couple of years to finish. But it's nice and soft, and I like the kind of fuzzy halo that's going on with these. That little pinch is actually the stitch marker to remind me which side is which for increases. I can't remember which side is which, but it does tell me in the pattern which side I put the stitch marker in, so that's fine. And Hannah made those little stitch markers for us when we went to Dublin. So it's this, and I have this, and the original. Sorry, they're blinking away. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I was in New York in June last year, and I went to Pearl Soho, and I went to, I think it's called Downtown Knits, I can't remember. So I'd never knit lace before or had any interest in knitting lace. So I bought 3 skeins of lace yarn because I like the colours. So I bought these 3. So it's Hollyhock, which is the Hollyhock, Pearl, and Bobby Blue, and this is actually much brighter, this one. Brighter and sort of lighter than it's showing up there. It's more turquoisey than it is blue. So I bought these 3 colours because I liked them. I was like, hey, you're kind of cool, I want you. And then I was chatting to the girls in our WhatsApp group, and they were like, yeah, Kira was like, yeah, cast on this. So I cast it on, but then I realised that actually these colours weren't going to work together in that shawl, because although those 2 are lovely, and those 2 are lovely, and these 3 colours are lovely, they won't work in the hoo-hoo, because those 2 are, they're both too jewelly, they're both too much in the same sort of level of colour. Hey, look at that, I can balance them there. Way! So there isn't enough contrast between those 2, even though they're very, very different colours. There isn't enough like depth contrast between them. Sorry, the baby monitor is just going off. She'll be fine. So I needed to buy other yarns to knit the hoo-hoo. So I did, and I bought Paris Night. So I'm going to take this one away. And I bought this one to go with it. So this is Paris Night, and it's a very like dark black blue almost, and it'll go really well in the shawl with these 2. I think I'm going to use the lighter colour, the Bobby Blue on the border for the last bits of colour, and these 2 as like sort of the mainstay of the shawl. But then because I was buying this one and not using the hollyhocks, I keep looking there because the labels are there for the names, and not using the hollyhock, it's like, oh, I'm going to have this lonely skein of lace yarn, which I'll never knit on its own, so I need more lace to go with it. I'm a great enabler, even of myself. So I did buy more yarn when I was buying that one to go with the hollyhock for a shawl that the idea of it doesn't even exist yet, or the will, because I haven't. Anyway, so I bought these 2. Oh wow, look at that colour. So this one is Purple Mystery, and actually it's more of a violet to me. It's quite blue, an indigo-y sort of colour rather, but it's very rich, it's lovely. And this one is Violetta's, and it's a very purpley black colour. The light sort of blowing them out here, I don't really know. Yeah, I suppose that'll do, although it is a bit harsher. Anyway, so I bought that to go with these, and I think these will make a lovely shawl at some point in the future. I don't know, I might be 60 before this one gets knit, but it's good to have these things. It's good to have them. So that's that. They are my current. Oh, actually, I don't. I have here. So I cast one of these. It's a cozy memories blanket. I call it my in your face Gareth blanket, I think, or Afghan maybe, I don't know. Because when I was casting it on, he was like, "Oh, is that another one of those things that you're going to like start and just have sitting around and it's never going to be finished and I'm going to be tripping over it. No, I'm going to finish this just to spite you. That's exactly why I'm going to finish it. I actually need to knit on it to be able to finish it. I haven't knit on it. I added a square last night and that was the first in forever. So this is the one I added last night, and it is this the back? No, yeah, it's the front. A fondant fibre mini that Kate gave me when we went to Dublin. So it's not very big. There's only 32 squares in it, and I need 160 something, I think. Shouldn't take me that long. Although, and like, people are knitting this, they're like, oh yeah, they're so quick to knit those wee squares or whatever. And I do not find them quick at all. It takes me forever. And I'm not a really, really slow knitter. Like, I'm no ninja. I'm not like flying through knitting things, but I'm not ridiculously slow either. Oh my god, they just like one a night, maybe two. I think, well, one because I would get a bit bored with garter, but yeah. I'm knitting them on, it's the only thing I knit on straight needles. I tried them on circulars and I couldn't do it. Which is really awkward for some reason, I don't know why. So I bought these Knit Pro Carbons straights because they're quite short. And they're metal, so they're 2.75mm. Which is another thing. I am pretty sure that I really could have cast on with a 3.5 because the fabric of my blanket again is like there's not much stretch in it, you know, and the squares are tiny. They're just over 2.5 inches, and it's 46 stitches. So I think if I had cast on using a 3.5, this would have been considerably bigger and done faster. I could have used less squares. That was a wasp at the window. It's fine, it's gone now. But I didn't, so I've got the small squares. Here we go. We're getting there. It'll be done at some point. So that is all of my works in progress. I have one more that I have to knit. I have to cast on. It's because I was complaining at Gareth this morning that I had nothing to knit because all of the sock things were annoying me, and I have 2 more things to cast on. Yes, all of the sock things were annoying me. I don't know why I didn't really want to knit. Well, I find it very slippy, so I need to be in the zone doing it. I think it's because the yarn's so wee and the needles are so big. I don't know, it's my first time knitting lace. Lace weight. And he's like, well, you told me you would knit me a cowl, like, you know, forever ago, so why don't you just stop moaning and do that? I kind of walked into that one. So I did tell him I would knit him one month, I think winter, and you know, we're practically in summer now, so it may even have been autumn. It was a while ago, and I have dyed the yarn for it. It is around here. I'm surrounded by yarn. Is it in the box? I have a box. It is not quite in the box. No. Okay, well I do have one of them anyway. And I have a sort of one of the other. So, yeah, no, I can't find it. I bet you I'm sitting on it. Anyway. So this is it in sock. It's my Portobello colorway. So it's a sort of brown grey base. And it has these little flecks of like a really deep, deep red, pink, browns. And I'm not sure if you can see any here. So the way it's schemed up, maybe there's one in there. I don't know. A few flecks of teal. So he wanted something that was muted colours, you know, not bright and out there, and that he could wear on a night out and or outside or walking the dog or whatever. I don't know. He just wanted muted men colours. So I did this brown, and then I was like, yeah, no, chuck some speckles on it. So I did, and I like it. It's double knitting that I'll be using for his. I just don't know where I put it. So I'm going to pair it with this yarn. It's just a semi-solid dark grey because, and the reason actually that I haven't cast it on and knit it yet is because I told him that I would do a brioche one. Brioche. I have no idea. Pronounce it how you will, I suppose. And I don't know how to knit that, so I was like, yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll do that in brioche, and then that way I'll learn how to knit it. But I actually haven't had any interest in casting it on yet to learn how to knit it. So, although that's clearly going to be remedied now because he told me I had to knit it, so I guess I'll be learning how to brioche over the next couple of weeks, and then that will be done. And then the only other thing that I want to cast on is from Spring's Pom Pom. I subscribed to this, it's just run out, so I'll have to do it again. But when I went to do it, the first issue they would have sent me would be the one I just got, so I suppose I'll have to wait a few weeks and do it again. When I first got the spring one, I was like, nah, I wasn't, nothing really struck me that I had to knit it. But if I can find the blinking thing. But then I was like, oh yeah, no, I really want to knit a jumper. So I like this one. It's Rombail. Can you hear me? It's Rombail. So yeah, and it's knit. I think this one is in Toft Aran. If I can find where the pattern is, I will tell you. That's not that one. Where is the pattern for this one? But I didn't buy Toft Aran. I bought Drops Air, and I will show you the colouring now once I get to the. Was it Toft? Yes, Toft Aran. And it calls for a 5mm and 6mm needles. Now my knitting is tight already, as we know. So I'm gonna have to go, I think, maybe 6 and 7, but I don't have a 6 and a 7. I only have up to a 5.5. So I have to order in those needles, and I have not been ordering in the needles purposefully because I wanted to sort that sock mess out first. But I did buy the yarn because Drops is on sale this month. And this is not my colour. My colour, I wear black and I wear grey, various shades in between. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go outside my comfort zone for this one. What? It's like pinky coral, not black, essentially. But it's so smooshy. And it was really quite cheap as well. I think it was only, there was 30% off maybe, so it worked out like £2 something a ball. I think the whole lot of only cost me about 16, and I only needed 6 balls because there's more in one of these than there is in the Toft, and it had called for, well, 7 balls for the small size, but working out the meterage and stuff, I only needed 6 of these. Yay! And it is so unbelievably soft. Really, really soft. I actually can't wait to knit with it. So I'll have to order them. Now that I'm going to frog all the socks, I should really order the needles. I will do that. So that's that. That was all of my knitting finished things, half finished things, whips, and futures. My knitting futures. This is Holden, the Holden shawl or shawlette, which I knit. I was pregnant when I knit this, so it must be about 2 years ago now. And the yarn is a Stash Addict. It was one of her club yarns. I can't remember the name of it at all, and it's merino tencel, so that's what that. I don't know if you can quite make it out, but it's got a wee sheen. It's got a sheen on it. It actually smells like my perfume. But I knit this, and I didn't do the picot edge because I think I knit 2 Holden shawls before it, and I'd done the picot edge, and I was like, I cannot face doing another picot edge. And then I wore this, and my next door neighbour, she's not my next door neighbour from my mum's house who I grew up with, it's like, oh, that's really nice, and that, my granddaughter would really love that. And Margaret, my next door neighbour, mum's next door neighbour, is really nice. Like, she's really, really nice. So I knit another one. I signed up for like the double of the yarn club, I think, so I had 2 skeins of this. So essentially I knit the exact same shawl straight after having knit this shawl. It was like the worst Groundhog Day ever. I will never ever do that again. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to shoot myself here. But I knit it and gave it to her, and she really liked it. So there you go. One of the few shawls that I've actually knit and given away. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. My slight tangents that I may have gone off on. from time to time, and I hope you can hear me because I got a new laptop. I got a MacBook. I'm now a Mac user. I was really fed up. My PC kept crashing, and I was trying to do like shop updates or replying to emails or just blinking, searching through Ravelry for something, and then the computer would crash and I'd get the blue screen for a couple of days, and then it wouldn't turn on or it wouldn't turn off, and it was extremely frustrating. So I threw the head up and hello Mac, and I thought that yeah. So then that kind of swayed me into podcasting as well. I was like, oh yeah, I've got a really nice laptop now, and you know has that fancy Retina whatever camera, which I'm sorry that you're probably seeing that in such detail. Um, I thought the microphone might be a bit better, so I don't know if I mumble or it's just a shit microphone. Who knows? I don't think I mumble. There you go. I can't remember what I was saying before that. Done anyway. So the only thing left for me to say is that or to tell you about is that I have a Ravelry group for my yarn, Fine Fish Yarns. Come and join if you want. There is a knit along going on at the minute, and it's not anything madly fancy. It's just that when I eventually fixing the Ravelry or actually setting up the Ravelry group and trying to get more sorted online coincided with getting a new computer because I wasn't wanting to scream and throw the monitor through the window every 5 minutes. But when I had said then that I had set up the Ravelry group, a couple of people had said, "Oh, I just cast on with X or I just cast on with Y," and I went, "Well, sure, we'll do a knit along. Why not?" The only rule it ends on the 18th of June, which is World Knit in Public Day. For you, those of you who did not know, it ends then. Cast on whatever you want, knit whatever you want. I don't really mind, as long as you use my yarn. You can use other yarns as well. It doesn't really matter. As long as my yarn is in it, and not like some one piddly wee stripe you stuck in there somewhere to make it qualify. Like, if it's a 3-color coil or a 3-color shawl, my color to be one of them, or something that it's there. And that's that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy listening to me ramble. It was weird because Gareth is downstairs and I'm talking a little bit louder because actually this is the second time I shot this podcast. The second time. And I feel much a bigger tool the second time doing it as I did the first. Possibly even bigger because he's now in the house. And my insistence that he didn't listen. Who knows? Don't listen to me. Oh, right, love. Actually, I think he makes a pretty easy life for himself just ignoring me. So I doubt it was much difference to him. But there we go. Thank you very much. And hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys again. Bye.